Tim Pool situation, which was bad. That was horrific, man. That was holy. I mean, the dog situation is ridiculous. The Tim Pool situation, nah. I mean, this is basically a traitor. He's, as far as I'm concerned, he's basically a traitor. He's basically, him and Dave Rubin are basically rats. And Lawrence, well, Lawrence is a Canadian, but that doesn't matter. But the Tim Pool situation was bad. Like, actual rat activity. But to be fair, I guess looking on Twitter is not a good idea. Let me just fucking type this in on. Nah, Tim Pool, Russia. Oh, I can't spell Russia right. Breaking points. Hassan's a 30-minute video. Nah, it's too. Destiny has. I'm out. He's not on this stream. No, these days. Okay, 30 minutes too long. I need something short. Give me something short, concise. I need a Tim Pool breakdown, short and concise and sweet. Tim Pool, Russia. Cause Tim Pool Russian up. That, oh my God. This was so bad. Holy, you know, give me 10 minutes or less. Yeah, 14 minutes, please. Pac-Man, whatever. Let's go.
I keep hearing
okay. Stinky ass Asman, go man. If he has a video that's concise and short, it's, bro, listen, there's been multiple things in the news cycle that have caught my attention over the past week. No, over the past few days. And I'm gonna address all of them right now. And then after that, we'll get into the anime.
All right, let's get into it. Absolute bombshell shaking the independent media world. DOJ bombshell alleges MAGA Media Group is backed by Russian.
DOJ bombshell alleges MAGA Media Group is a media company matches the description of Tenet Media, which hosts 6 MAGA commentators allegedly receiving $10 million from Russian sources according to
money. There is a fantastic Twitter thread by Pekka Kalyanimi from Botnik Soup.
I'm only watching Pac-Man because he has a short video, so I'm not gonna go to like a 30. I saw like a 50-minute video. Destiny had like a fucking 1 hour and 25-minute stream. I'm like, bro, I just want something quick.
And the Soup Central, who follows and is an expert on exactly these types of influence campaigns. So let me explain to you.
And I'll see him from right covering this stuff too.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that this is shaking the independent media world. Russia has been funding a Tennessee-based media company called Tenet.
Yeah.
Tenet Media is most known for promoting pro-Putin, anti-Ukraine, anti-democratic West narratives.
I'll let it cook because we don't have much time. So I want to get to, like, you know, watch
now,
the Terminator
the money
show.
that's at play here, and I'm going to tell you who has been receiving the money. The money that's at play here originated with Russian state TV channel RT. It was funneled through various shell companies in countries like Turkey and the United Arab Emirates.
Back in the day.
In some cases, masked as payments for electronics. And 2 individuals involved from RT, Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Afanasieva, have been charged.
Ain't no nigga, ain't no way this man's name is Kalashnikov, like a fucking gun. There is no shot. This fucker's name is called Kalishnikov, an actual firearm. That's a dead giveaway. Something's up, bro. His nigga's name is Kalishnikov? Like, no. Konstantin? Like the Keanu Reeves movie?
Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Afanasieva
have
been charged with an indictment with conspiracy to commit money laundering and conspiracy to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act.
That's where the gun comes from? Okay.
These 2...
Oh, just the name? There's a name? Okay, fair enough. But listen, like, that to me just... It feels like this is like some gimmick name, honestly.
Also instructed the content creators that were being...
Actual Destiny gun code? Low.
Funded by this entire project. Now, the reason we're learning about all of this...
Very common name, really? That ass? Fuck. Okay, never mind.
This is because of the indictment. The details in the indictment are stunning, and I encourage you to look at it. Now, interestingly, Tenet was founded in 2022 by Lauren Chen and Liam Donovan. Now, you might remember the name Lauren Chen. I've met
She's also familiar.
Lauren Chen. I was on a panel with her at Politicon years ago. And
I know Lauren Southern. I heard that name. I've seen some of her shit before, of course.
there
Who hasn't?
there is something in particular about Lauren Chen's content relative to her name recognition that is a common thread with a lot of these sort of astroturfed content creators, which I will get to in a moment. So then we have the list of media people that are involved with Tenet Media. And the list includes Tim Pool, who's been a guest on this program, Benny Johnson, with whom I appeared on the Piers Morgan program recently, Dave Rubin, who he has...
Dave Rubin. Oh, man. I remember Dave Rubin being part of Young Turks back in the day. Those were some interesting conversations. I mean, because it's crazy because Dave Rubin left the Young Turks. He got funded money from the Koch brothers. And then afterwards, now you're saying he got funded from Russia? Like, what the? How do you go from being a part of a liberal network to going independent media, then getting funded by the Koch brothers, then going to the Russians? This is a crazy ride, Ruben.
Has been on this show before, and I've been on his show a decade ago before he had this very strange political awakening where he changed all his political views. And Lauren Southern. So Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Dave Rubin, Lauren Southern, probably the biggest names that are involved.
I don't know who the Benny guy is.
Now, it's really interesting to go back and reconsider some of the content that these creators have been putting out in light of these revelations about the funding. Tim Pool, for example.
Of course, bro. Of course. I mean, if they're getting paid tens of millions, like, I mean, my boy, and then you just take it at face value. Like, if someone came to me and said, yo, we're going to give you 50 grand a month to do video content, for what? For who? What's going on here? But hold up, what? Who? 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 Old school Fousey Tube. Who? 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 Like, I mean, listen, man. Like, hey, 50K is a lot. What? Who?
Went all in his video.
And this is, what is this and why do we care? This is basically a video talking about one of the most prominent right-wing commentators online, Tim Pool, and other people like Dave Rubin and so on, who have been associated with a group called Tenet Media that are backed by Russians. And so essentially what we're seeing here is essentially some commentators online for politics have been ousted to be Russian ops. That's crazy to me. That's fucking like what? That's fucking nuts. That's what the video. Again, I'm watching Pac-Man because I saw other people like talk about it, but there's like these long streams. Like, so I don't see any right people. I don't see any folks on the right talk about this, but I can guess why, because it's probably the same ilk. But when I look for, let's say, anyone that's talking about this whole thing, I saw a Hassan video that was like 50 some odd minutes, too long. There was like a fucking Destiny stream that was like an hour and 20, like, too long. I want to keep it nice and short for this particular stream, so I'm not here for like an hour and a half just going with politics shit. I just don't. No.
Videos with claims like Ukraine is the enemy of this country and suggesting we should apologize to Russia.
They know it. But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country.
Now, was that in the script? Did Vladimir tell him to actually slam his fist down too? It's an op right there.
But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being
1 million per fist slam?
Funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong, I know.
Bro, you know what's crazy, man? I remember the day, or the days back in, yore, when you had folks like Mitt Romney or Republicans say things like, Russia is one of the greatest enemies America has to deal with. And I think it was like universal. Whether you were like Republican or Democrat, Russia was a no-no. Russia was a fucking no-no. And I believe this through and through. Where it's like when it comes to like the major players in the world, the guys that we had to worry about the most were the Russians and the Chinese. Like full stop. Russia, China, Russia, China. Okay. And when I heard about like Russia losing territory to the Ukrainians, I'm like, yes, good. This made me happy. This made me very happy. Okay. The fact that Russia had the audacity to invade another country without impunity. It's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? That's crazy. Like to me, it was clear. Like we just can't support the Russians no matter what. And now here I am in 2024, 2023, and mad people support Russia that are American, like homeborn, red, white, and blue, American, like corn-fed Americans are like, yeah, dude, like we fuck with Russia. Like what? How? It's mind-numbing. But I guess I'm seeing it now, where if people like Tim Pool were getting paid to spout Russian propaganda. And mind you, the Russians themselves do this in their own country to a absurd extent. Bro, like I wonder how much of this propaganda that Russia has is global. Not just America, but global. Global, because Lauren Southern's in this shit too, and I think she's Canadian. I think. I don't know if Lauren Chen is Canadian, I have no idea. Ruben, I think, is an American. The other guys, I have no idea. I have no idea. To be fair, this was closer to the times of communism, so this was worse back then. Now China's gotten stronger. They've gotten stronger, but at the same time, I feel like after we saw what happened with Russia and Ukraine, I feel like the other countries are like leagues behind us, meaning that like in terms of not just military, but in terms of cultural, in terms of, you can argue, well, maybe not, yeah, I would argue economically, culturally, militarily, America is just like laps around, like we're lapping other nations, including Russia and China. Like Russia's whole situation with the Ukraine is a joke. It's a joke. Like it's almost been 2 years now since they've been in there. It's a fucking joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. They've been losing territory to the Ukrainians. Like, come on, bro. Like, what is this?
You've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do.
Criminal elements of the U.S. government. Who are these elements?
You've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict.
I remember that.
Ukraine
I remember there's some sort of like misfire going on there with the Nord pipeline.
We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
Now,
fuck no. Fuck no, bro. Absolutely. Even if Ukrainians fuck up here and there, apologize to Russia, nigga, for what? Are you nuts? They're not our allies, bro. They're our enemies. What are you talking about, my nigga? What? No. Up. He's a rat, dude. Like, this is the way I feel personally, right? Dr. Disrespect situation right here, in terms of severity, Tim Pool. Like, because Tim Pool, to me right now, he feels like a full-on rat. Like, not the meme shit that we do in One Piece community, not the, oh my god, no, not the meme rats, an actual slimy, slippery rat, dude. Rat, man. The one you want to kill, the one you want to remove from your home, that kind of rat. Okay? That, like, you put the poison shit in the corner so they bite and they die, that kind of, he's a rat, dude.
Seems to be reading something in this video. If he's reading a script and who wrote the script, I mean, we
no matter
just
the
don't
money,
know, but
bro, complaining about politics every day online for your job must be shit. Could never do that. I mean, I'm wondering about that in terms of money, like in terms, well, on YouTube for AdSense, I think that YouTube, I remember back in the day, there was like, there were issues with that, with like politics guys couldn't make that much money on AdSense or on YouTube.
Obviously, everything is suspect now, given these revelations. Also, on
everything is suspect, I agree.
On Twitter, or X as it's now called, Tim has been very vocal about this issue, tweeting at one point, "I now hate and despise Ukraine." Tweeting at another point, "Trump got impeached for freezing military aid to Ukraine. Biden faces no consequences for freezing military aid to Israel. This proves the Ukrainians run the U.S. Now when someone asks, who is they, though, you respond, the Ukrainians."
I'm not the most political savvy person in the world, but I'm almost positive, and this is something that you just kind of have to like kind of take a step back with and try to understand how American politics and economy works, I'm almost positive that we Americans, we have a budget that is allocated for different assets of how our country functions on a year-to-year basis, where we have a budget for, let's say, the elderly in terms of things like Medicaid and pensions and so on, right? We have a budget for schools. We have a budget for roads and making sure that everything runs functionally. And then we have a military budget, right? We have a military budget that's used in order to help not only our military grow and expand, but also make sure that our boys and girls that are across the world in military bases and in submarines are fed properly and so on and so forth. And also make sure that our allies are up to snuff, right? No matter how you feel about, let's say, like Israel or Palestine or Ukraine and Russia, we have allies, or we have enemies, all right? And the enemy of our enemies is our friend. How the fuck do Ukrainians run the U.S. when we give them probably like a small piece of our military budget so they can fight against Russia, which we do not support?
Tim Pool posting, the people screaming about Trump working for Russia are the same people demanding social media censor misinformation.
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. The people screaming about Trump working for Russia, nigga, you work for Russia. Nigga, you're the rat. That's crazy. Oh my. Wait. When was this? Whoa. 2019. Nigga, damn, you were the rat. You were the rat. That was you. Oh shit, bro. The pot calling the kettle black, bro. That was you, sir. You were the rat. That's crazy.
Stop listening to these people. So a lot of stuff here that now is very suspect involving Tim Pool. Then we go to Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson's main talking points have...
I look forward to the media group, but fair enough. That could be possible. But the irony is that he wound up joining a group where he was getting paid millions, and these guys were Russian funded. And I have a hard time believing that he didn't know, considering how, again, if you're getting paid like $1 million a year and you don't know where that money is coming from, like, nigga, shut the fuck up. If I'm getting paid $50K a month, fuck $1 million. Okay, we're gonna pay you, King Lightning, 50, 100K a month. Like, wait, what? Who? No. I will hit up lawyers. I will talk to my accountant like, yo, hold up. I need help. I need to find out who the fuck is this. I need to know what's going on. I need to make sure I'm not part of some weird shit. I'm going to hit up the people that I know to make sure that my shit is green. Bro, Tim, your shit was as red as the red part in the Russian flag. My nigga, what are you doing?
Misinformation. Stop listening to these people. So a lot of stuff here that now is very suspect involving Tim Pool. Then we go to Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson's main talking points have often focused around he just doesn't want aid going to Ukraine, and Democrats are causing so many problems domestically.
Give me Dave Rubin. Give me Dave Rubin. I need to see Rubin.
You then have Lauren Southern, and the Russian connection there is much more plain to see. She's actually visited Moscow, and she met with Alexander Dugin.
Well, I mean, going to Russia and visiting some dude is not a big deal, I suppose. Well, in terms of like, that doesn't mean that, you know, you're fucking ally with them or something, right? Like, NBA players can go visit the president. Doesn't mean that they actually believe that doesn't mean that they actually co-sign what the president says 1 for 1, you know?
Who's this guy who provided the blueprint for Russian expansion and imperialism in his 1997 book, Foundation of Geopolitics. We've talked about that. And then, of course, you also have Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin, who has increasingly pushed this pro-Trump, sort of skeptical of the West kind of narrative. Now, a lot of these...
I'm actually willing, you know what, now I think about it, I'm actually willing to bet that a lot of folks that are more pro-Trump are also more pro-Russia. Because I think that there's the idea that Russia and Trump, they're like in lockstep, where there is, well, Trump, how is this? People believe that Trump can be more favorable with Putin because they're friends or so on. But I mean, to me, I can understand the vibes, and the vibes are there for sure. But at the same time, when we saw with Trump and North Korea, where there were vibes between Kim and Trump, And then Kim's like, okay, vibe is cool, yeah. And then goes back to just building nuclear armaments. It's like, bro, like the vibes are there, I suppose, but vibes of lows aren't, they ain't gonna cut it.
Guys, people are kind of panicking. And so they've put out statements that are all very similar in structure. Dave Rubin is essentially claiming he's just a victim here. He put out a statement where he says, statement on the DOJ indictment. These allegations clearly show that I and other commentators were the victims of this scheme. I knew absolutely nothing about any of this fraudulent activity, period. People of the internet was a silly show covering viral videos, which ended 4 months ago.
Ruben.
The DOJ has never contacted me regarding this matter. I have no intention.
Ruben. Shut the fuck up, bro. Ruben. Ruben. It's hard to trust what you're saying at all when you yourself are funded by the Kochs, sir. It's hard to trust anything you're saying. Now, to be fair, I don't know if, like, say, they'll serve any prison time or shit like that. Maybe the folks that are behind to the media will. What's her face? Lauren, I think the other Lauren girl. Maybe she and those around her, they'll face prison time. Actually, if it's an indictment, then they probably maybe already facing indictment or already going through that right now. But it's hard to believe that Ruben. Oh, I didn't know nothing, man. Yeah, I was getting paid million number one, number two. Oh no, 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 I don't know nothing. I'm a victim, bro. I'm a victim. Meanwhile, in the corner. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10K. No, I don't know. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. What you mean you don't know nothing, Ruben? Fuck?
To comment further. The screenshot from the indictment speaks for itself. So he's basically saying, I was a victim here. I was victimized. Benny Johnson also referred to himself as a victim, saying, quote, a year ago, a media...
It's a lot of victims. It's crazy how a lot of these guys, you know, like social justice has its issues, of course, but I mean, bro, those guys use victims. Oh, now you guys want to use victims? Really? Now y'all victims too? That's kind of crazy. This is nuts.
Startup pitched my company to provide content as an independent contractor. Our lawyers negotiated a standard arm's length deal, which was later terminated. We are disturbed by the allegations in today's indictment, which make clear that myself and other influencers were victims in this alleged scheme. My lawyers will handle anyone who states or suggests otherwise, I guess threatening lawsuits. So let's talk a little bit about this. To be perfectly clear,
no, this guy
I believe...
This was them, Cole? Bro. Money. Oh, let's go. Yeah. Bro, yeah, of course.
Completely. That no one was telling these individuals necessarily what they have to say, but it's sort of like the RT thing. I don't know if you guys remember when RT was on the air.
Money!
And we would often hear from RT.
They saw the dollar signs and blanked out.
Say, I have total freedom to say whatever I want. RT.
No. Now we're getting paid.
Never comes in and says, here's what you have to say about Putin or anything else.
There's a reason why you have to like disclose who you're getting paid by. Let's say when you do a YouTube video, or like in general, like if you're being sponsored by somebody, you have to let them know.
What's really critical to understand is that Russian intelligence prefers if you don't know that you're doing their bidding. What they want to do is amplify voices that are already predisposed to say what's useful to them. And so when it came to the on-air talent at RT, for example, they don't need to hire people and then go, listen, here's how you have to cover stories. They would say, hey, here's someone whose skepticism of American institutions is really useful to our goal of destabilizing American democracy. Let's hire them. Let's give them a bunch of money. We don't have to tell them what to say. So the strategy here is you amplify voices that are predisposed to say what you want, and then you give them the money to do as much as possible with a larger reach. The report is...
That's a fair point. Makes a very fair point. That's a very valid point. So that means that at worst, well, no, I guess in this case, at best for let's say Tim Pool and Dave Rubin and Lauren Southern, they're not Russian ops, but they're being manipulated unironically, like they're direct puppets of the Vladimir Putin, the KGB. They're direct puppets of the Russians. Oof. No matter how you slice this cake, there's just layers of shit in every cut. You just can't, it doesn't matter how you slice it. It doesn't matter how you slice it. It's still slimy. This cake is still 3 weeks old and it's been sitting out in the fucking hot sun. It's still nasty. It's still, yeah, it's still grimy as fuck. So either you were a fucking op and you knew what you were doing and you took the money knowing that you were going to be disseminating information that was anti-American, supporting Russians, or at the lightest end of the spectrum, you were literally being a major puppet for the Russian government when it comes to online entertainment, media, and discourse about politics. And because of that, you were more prone to disseminate more information or anti-American. No, see, this is that shit, bro, because I like this country a lot. I love this country. This guy, he makes a valid point, to be fair, but no matter how you slice it, it's still slimy.
That as far as Benny Johnson goes, it was a deal for $400,000
RTTV
a month plus some kind of six-figure signing bonus. These are early reports.
There's something called, like, they were part, like, RTTV, but then there's this thing called Tenet Media, where, like, I think Tenet, where it looks like Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Lawrence Southern, and other folks were part of this Tenet group, and they were getting paid by Russians who ran Tenet, like tens of millions.
Reports. It was very obvious in some of these cases, that the storylines just didn't really seem to match the natural development of one's kind of political views. And I want to be careful about what I say, so that I don't, necessarily anger any particular person. But when you look at the trajectories of some of these individuals and you see the rapid, in some cases, subscriber growth that took place without necessarily a lot of views, sort of a disproportionate amount of public.
Oh, were they getting subs too? Were they actually botting subs?
Notoriety that didn't seem matched by the actual interest in the content, because a lot of people aren't necessarily interested in what the.
That's something that's interesting. Okay, timeout. So let's say if they did a video that was very pro-Russian, anti-American, would they get more subs for that video, and they would get more views for that video, but it'd be artificial views and artificial subs to try and allure people to watch that same video? Oh, I wonder.
These individuals are saying. You start to wonder, is there,
which by the way is bannable,
some artificial mechanism that is signal boosting the content? I think that's where we leave it.
Yeah, an artificial mechanism. Yeah,
now,
okay.
What I can tell you is that we don't get any money from anybody like this. We're on YouTube and we make money from the YouTube ad program. We have no contact with any of the advertisers. Individual people pay $2, $3, $4, $5 a month, or $60, $70 for the year. Any one of them can cancel at any time. None of them direct content on the program. I mean, the point I'm trying to make here is not all independent media is created equal. And sometimes, apparently, independent media can actually be wrapped up with some pretty ugly stuff. Let's leave it there.
Fair. Very fair. Very fair from Pac-Man. Very fair. Very fair. I feel like one of the things I've seen, and I've kind of seen it, like, I guess more, I've seen it way more on the right than I've seen it on the left. Because again, like, because I'm an independent, so I try and follow both parties and see what people are saying on both sides of the aisle. And I've seen, when it came to, what was it? I forgot who it was, but I remember Louder to Crowder had this issue with one, his wife, and then two, the company, I forgot who they're called, but the company that he worked for doing content with them. And then he had like the mug club thing going on that was like, there was issues there. And then there was a lot of slime stuff going on with Louder and Crowder. I forgot the details, but it's because it's been a while. There's this shit here with Tim Pool, Russian ops. Oh God. Again, Dave Rubin, Koch brothers. It just feels like if it was revealed that, let's say, the Young Turks were getting directly funded by George Soros, it'd be like, bro, nah, fuck that. It would be like, hell no. Hell no. Get out of here, man. That's ridiculous. You guys are getting directly funded by the who? Well, Dave Rubin was by the Kochs. Well, I mean, Russian ops, Tim Pool, Lawrence Southern, Dave Rubin again. Dave Rubin again. It's like, oh, God. I can't necessarily speak for the right side of the aisle. Well, I mean, the left side of the aisle for independent media, but seeing what happens on the right side of the aisle for independent media, it makes you actually trust uh mainstream media more. Like as a result of so many of these fuck ups that they've done on the internet, whether it's Alex Jones, oh my god, bro, Alex Jones, this tremendous kerfuffle, this major fuck up, the ops with well, at worst ops, at best, being directly puppeted by the Russian government on the right side of the aisle, it's like there's no way. how, how the fuck can we trust you people what you say when shit like this is going behind the scenes? There's no way. There's no shot. There's no shot. It's bad. It's bad. I don't know. Like over the years, like when I sit back and I look from both sides of the aisle here, it just feels like the Republicans look, or that side of the aisle, the right side of the aisle, it looks just so much weaker. It looks so much weaker. Even though Trump is very charismatic, as a whole, the party looks very, very weak compared to the Democrats and the left side of the aisle. It is what it is. Y'all just don't have it right now. Y'all just do not have it. They may win still in November. It's possible, of course, but it's a mess. I don't trust any media. Well, no, you have to trust some media because the problem is that if you don't trust any media, then who do you really trust? Do you trust the random people on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter? Like, no, you can't do that. Like, when it comes to media, there has to be I used to believe the same shit about not trusting media. But the problem is that when you look at the independent media, a lot of times is just as jaded, and we're seeing now slimy and manipulated by forces that you can't comprehend. So whether it's like Joe Rogan, whether it's Hassan, whether it's Tim Pool, Alex Jones, the Young Turks, right? It's like somebody has a stream income coming from somewhere. And where the money flows in from matters a lot, right? I don't see this shit happening with the left stream independent media. I just don't. Maybe I'm missing it somewhere. But Hassan, I don't think he's being funded by any fucking Mujahideen warriors, whatever the fuck he calls these niggas. I don't think he's being funded by any Palestinians or Iranian groups. The same goes with, like the Young Turks. They don't do that either. Like, nah. But apparently Tim Pool is. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this? Huh? Hassan, at the very least, is just a Twitch sub. Yeah, listen, man. Like, Hassan, he's doing his thing. He's getting the bread. Though, albeit given his views, it seems a bit contradictory, honestly, if I'm being realistic here. Like, it seems actually very, 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 very contradictory. Given his greater views and how much money he makes, it's like, well, hold on now. I mean, shouldn't you, well, I don't want to get to that right now. The whole point here is that you have to believe something to an extent. The truth is different in every pair of eyes, right? Just be critical with your thinking. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like, but to be fair, critical thinking is not necessarily it feels like it's a rare skill nowadays, right? Like, I'm trying to be critical when I do like things like this. When I do like, let's say, reacting stuff or where the fuck, that's one thing. But like when it's important news that's coming out, I try to be critical. I try to like use my history of what I've learned, over the course of my lifetime. And it just feels like right now, I won't say it feels. I would say the general trend is that when it comes to independent media, the right side of the aisle seems way less trustworthy than the left side of the aisle. And the left side of the aisle, though not perfect, at least they're not, in bed with Russian ops. And they're trying to sway people to be... the fact that there's so many people today that are so anti-American and they're borderline fucking traitors. To me, it just shocks me. It shocks me because I remember the old Russians. I remember the old Republicans, bro. I remember the Republicans that were fucking American war hawks, Bro, I remember the Cheney niggas. I remember these dudes. Fucking war hawks that were like red, white, and blue through and through. But now it feels like a lot of those folks on that aisle are they would lick the boots of Putin if they could. They would go on their knees, like the same way you have these cringy people on the left that are white that like kiss black people's feet. It's like, bro, don't do that shit. That's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. What are you doing? They would do the same thing to any Russian. And it's like, what are you fucking doing? Like, what are y'all doing, man? Fuck. Christ. And also, when I think about it too, it's like, because the platform I use the most is X. I use Twitter the most. And it's so crazy to me how you can have, again, because right now it just mainly comes from the right side of the aisle. When you have the right side of the aisle talk about things like, oh, well, there's a lot of internal corruption and we can't trust, the big orgs, the 3 other orgs. We can't trust any of these mainstream outlets and so on. And we got to go like independent. And then when I look what's happening, well, let's say Elon is tweeting out so much pro-conservative shit, which is fine. But it feels like at the same time, he's tweeting out like videos that could be misconstrued as like fake or like they are fake videos, like fake shit. And it's like, bro, aren't you like, don't you put in more money or aren't you worth more than any Rothschild out there, my boy? What? Huh? What is this? George Soros has nothing on you. And he's like open about it. He's like it'll be kind of cool. And let's say he got Trump to pull up to Twitter on X. Why not get Kamala? So get Trump and then get Kamala for, let's say, another stream. And then we kind of see what's going on there. We actually have the town square that you wanted to do. The town square means both parties at play here. Like, get both parties in the works. Not to say do a debate, but let's say you have a stream with Trump and then you have a stream with Kamala. He just does the Trump one. It's like, bro, what? Every time I see him tweet, it's never any like, pro-Democrat or anything. It's just pro-Trump. But you're one of the richest guys on the planet and you're clearly influencing people across the spectrum. You're doing to the right what folks said George Soros does to the left. It's crazy. It's crazy. I think he reached out to Kamala, but she responded. But she has responded. Oh, okay, fair enough. That's all right. If that's what happened, fair enough, fine. Fair enough, fine. I won't deny that. But even outside of that, again, like it's very, very clear that his messaging is way tailored more towards the right rather than the left. Again, it is his company, ultimately speaking. But it's like, dude, damn, like, bro, what happened to the town square? What happened to the town square? Shit. Billionaires talking about deep state. Bro, like, nigga, you the state. You are the state. You are the state, sir. Crazy. Yeah, Terminator. Yeah, I get to it now. I'm just kind of going in my mind, bro, because, like, we're in the political season, and it's like, fuck, man. Either way. Holy shit. Oh, what a wild world we're living. What a wild world. Okay.